I'd like to call this meeting to order of the Planning Commission at 6:02 PM. Commissioner Ayala, if you can lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Flores,
Present.
Commissioner Jimenez,
Here.
Commissioner Mora, Vice Chair Ayala,
Present.
Chair Carbajal.
Present.
Currently quorum is 4-0.
Thank you. Ex parte communications. This is intended for officials the opportunity to reveal any disclosure regarding site visits or ex parte communications about public hearings. Are there any ex parte communications?
None, Madam Chair.
None, Madam Chair. None, Madam Chair.
And I have none as well. Public comments. Public comments are now open. Anyone joining us through Zoom can use the raise hand function if you wish to make a public comment on any item or the agenda or not on the agenda. The planning secretary will see if you have the raised hand through the Zoom application. Please note that you will have 3 minutes to speak. Planning secretary, do we have any members from the public present that wish to speak today?
Thank you. There's no one, Madam Chair.
I will now close public comment and move on to the next item. Item number 6, minutes, approval of the minutes for November 14, 2022 Planning Commission meeting. Approval of the minutes for December 12, 2022 Planning Commission meeting. Approval of the minutes for January 9, 2023 Planning Commission meeting. Approval of the minutes of February 8th adjourned Planning Commission meeting. Is there a motion and a second for approval of the minutes?
I'll move items A through D.
Second.
Commissioner Jimenez, second by Commissioner Mora. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered. Okay, number 7, public hearing. CEQA adoption of mitigated negative declaration development plan approval, GPA case number 999. I would like to call upon Assistant Planner Claudia Jimenez to please present item number 7.
Hi, good evening, Planning Commissioners, members of the audience, and planning staff. Tonight, I will be presenting item number 7, Development Plan Approval Case Number 999, a request to allow the construction of a new 99,847 square foot concrete tilt-up industrial building and associated parking lot. Property location at 1222 East Florence Avenue. APN number is 8009-022-046, which will be referred as parcel number 1, is zoned M2 heavy manufacturing and measures approximately 201,690 square feet, approximately 4.63 acres. The associated parking lot located at 10840 Norwalk Boulevard, APN number 8009-022-039, which will refer as parcel number 2, is currently zoned M2 heavy manufacturing, but changing to C4 community commercial zone for the new general plan update. It measures approximately 17,859 square feet and approximately 0.41 acres. Background. A little background on the existing parcels. From approximately 1955 to 1962, The site was occupied by a concrete batch plant and concrete transporting equipment company. See before you. From 1962 to June 2000, an oil service company formerly known as United Riggers and Erectors, Inc., occupied the subject site and used the property for maintenance, storage, repair, and cleaning of its equipment. In early 2000, after closing escrow, Franklin Steel purchased the property and obtained permits and authorization to proceed with grading and improvements to the property. See before you. In May of 2000, a request for approval to develop 4 structures on two adjoining parcels at 12222 Florence Avenue and 10840 Norwalk Boulevard was approved by the Planning Community Development Commission. And from 2000 to June 2022, an oil well service, which is known as OWS, an oil natural gas company, occupied the site from April 2012 to June 2022. Some pictures before you of the existing site. Next one. Site pictures of the properties for parcel number 1, APN number 8009-022-046. Parcel number 1 is located at 1222 East Florence Avenue, and the proposed industrial building will be set back at a minimum of 390 feet from East Florence Avenue. And a 30-foot wide driveway along Florence Avenue for egress will be provided. Site pictures for parcel number 2, APN number 8009-022-039, is located at 10840 Norwalk Boulevard, located adjacent to parcel number 1. It will have a 40-foot wide driveway along Norwalk Boulevard and will be provided for both egress and ingress. The entitlement request is to allow the construction of a 99,847 square foot concrete tilt-up industrial building on property located at 12222 East Florence Avenue, APN number 8009-022-046, an associated parking lot on an adjacent parcel at 10840 Norwalk Boulevard, APN number 8009-022-039, within the M2 heavy manufacturing zone. Site plans located at 12222 Florence Avenue and 10840 Norwalk Boulevard. Parking will incorporate 95 standard stalls, 4 accessible stalls, 1 accessible van stall, 15 parallel stalls, 1 EV accessible stall, 1 E-van parking stall, and 4 clean air vehicle stalls. Parking for parcel 1 is evenly distributed along all 4 sides of the proposed building and parking lot on the adjacent westerly parcel. Loading dock doors. A total of 14 dock doors, loading doors along the east elevations will be provided. All loading doors are strategically placed, so they will not be directly visible from Florence Avenue and Norwalk Boulevard. Trash enclosure. An 8-foot high trash enclosure, totally approximately 178 square feet, is being proposed. The applicant will be required to provide multiple trash pickups per week or include a trash compactor to meet the required trash enclosure building requirements. Driveways. The proposed project will provide 2 driveways, a 30-foot wide driveway along Florence Avenue for egress and a 40-foot wide driveway along Norwalk Boulevard for both egress and ingress. Setbacks. The proposed industrial building will be set back at a minimum 390 feet from East Florence Avenue and a setback at a minimum of 230 feet from Norwalk Boulevard. And finally, landscaping. The minimum landscape requirement for the project based on the overall street frontage is 8,237 square feet. And according to the conceptual landscape plan, the applicant will provide an overall of 11,547 square feet of landscape throughout the site. The majority of the landscape will be provided along the front setback areas that adjoins Norwalk Boulevard. And finally, screening. The proposed project will provide 2 8-foot high wrought iron gates on the north and south side of the property. The renderings. The proposed project will result in a new concrete tilt-up speculated industrial building and associated parking lot. Therefore, the land is being maintained for industrial uses. The proposed project will construction of a new contemporary concrete tilt-up industrial building on a site that is currently developed with 3 structures and that were built in the early 2000s and associated storage equipment. The assessed value of the property will significantly improve once the project is complete, thus leading to an increase in property values for both the subject property and neighboring properties. Elevations on floor plans. Due to limits to posting on architectural plans, a copy of the elevations and the floor plans were provided to planning commissioners, and you should have it before you. Okay. Elevations and floor plans. The proposed elevations indicate that the proposed industrial building will have a contemporary design, and the elevations, majority of the architectural enhancements were provided along the north and west elevations due to the visibility from the adjacent streets. And the main entry and office area are provided with intensive glazing, color variations, pop-outs, high variations in material use, and the remaining elevations have been provided with a combination of formation architectural treatments, which result in aesthetically pleasing building, and the floor plan. The proposed floor plan indicates the proposed industrial building will measure about 99,847 square feet with 3,000 square foot designated area for office and a 5,200 square foot for a mezzanine. Environmental review. The environmental review analysis provided in the initial study indicated that the proposed project will not result in a significant adverse impacts on the environment, and therefore the city caused to be prepared and proposed to adopt a mitigated negative declaration, MND, for the proposed project. The draft initial study mitigated negative declaration was circulated for the required 30-day public review and comments from October 18th, 2022 to November 17, 2022. And notice of intent to adopt the mitigated negative declaration was posted with the Los Angeles County Clerk and the State Clearinghouse. And a copy of the notice of the intent of adopt the mitigated negative declaration was also mailed to all responsible trustee agencies as well as surrounding cities for their review and comment. And on October 17, 2022, the city released the draft ISMND along with the accompanying appendices, and these materials were made available to the public throughout the 30-day review and comment period. On October 17th, 2022, the city released the draft ISMND along the accompanying appendices. These materials were made available to the public throughout the 30-day review and comment, and the public comment period for the draft ISMND ended on October 17, 2022, and it received one comment letter within the review period from Southwest Regional Council of Carpenters on behalf of Mitchell MC, and the applicant Goodman Santa Fe Springs SPE LLC provided a response to the comment. And support for the project located at 1222 East Florence Avenue and the associated parking lot was provided by the petitioner on March 9th, 2023, which you see before you. Additionally, a trip generation of EMT screening and a traffic analysis was prepared by Urban Crossroads and was reviewed and approved by the city's traffic engineer, and no further traffic impact analysis were required. In the public hearing, legal notice of public hearing for the proposed project was sent by the first-class mail to all property owners whose names and addresses appear on the latest county assessor's roll within 500 feet of the exterior boundaries of the subject site on March 2nd, 2023. And the legal notice was also posted in Santa Fe Springs City Hall, City Town Center Hall, kiosk, and the subject site on March 2nd, 2023, and published in the newspaper of general circulation of Whittier Daily News on March 3rd, 2023, as required by the state zoning and development laws and by the city's zoning regulations. And as of date of this report, the staff has not received any comments and/or inquiries regarding the proposed project. And published in the newspaper of general circulation of Whittier Daily News on March 3rd, 2023, as required by the state zoning development laws and by the city's zoning regulations. And as of date of this report, staff has not received any comments and/or inquiries regarding this proposed project. And for your consideration, the proposed project meets the criteria set forth in section 155.739 of the zoning ordinance for granting of development plan approval. The project involves the construction of a new and attractive industrial building and associated parking lots on sites that are currently unutilized and developed with structures dating back in 2000. An access agreement has been prepared to ensure that the parcel located at 10840 Norwalk Boulevard will be continuously grant and provide reciprocal parking and also provide both vehicles and pedestrian access to parcel number 1. And additionally, that both parcels shall be kept, sold, and used in full compliance. Staff recommendations. The Planning Commission we request Planning Commission to approve and adopt the proposed environmental documents, which is the initial study mitigated negative declaration, ISMND, and mitigation monitoring and reporting program, the MMRP. Also approve DPA 999, subject to conditions as stated within the attached resolution, and also adopt resolution number 229-2023, which incorporates the Planning Commission's findings and actions regarding this matter. And this concludes my presentation. Before you tonight, I do have the applicant in the audience. Thank you.
Thank you. Do any of the commissioners have any questions on this item for the planning staff?
I have two questions. Just looking at the plans, the west elevation, I don't see a marking of the page number. There's a paint and body center next door. And also previously occupants was an oil company. Was there a verification of absence of hazardous waste? Has there been a study or mitigation or any plan that has been submitted or verified that there was no hazardous waste existing on the parcel?
There has, and if you want to add to that as well, you had it gone through Mark Blodgett and also.
Excuse me, Claudia,
Freeway
this is
from
the opportunity for you to respond to
Oh,
he
So to
can,
respond
when
yours.
it's his chance, he
Perfect.
can
Okay,
come up.
so-
with it.
an environmental study was completely done, and that was conducted through Mark Blodgett, which is our environmental consultant. And it came back as an initial study mitigated negative declaration, and there was also monitoring that was also being done. And so they also did a phase 1 as well.
Any other questions?
There was you mentioned that there's not going to be an impact to traffic. Please explain that with 14 docking stations, how is that not going to impact?
So initially, when it came in, our traffic engineer at the time had deemed it complete. And when we had received another traffic engineer, he fully analyzed it and it held the project back another additional 4 months because he asked for a traffic analysis. He had the driveway be moved about 30 feet from Florence Avenue to avoid queuing. There was also a trip generation that was also done. So it was a very lengthy process and he gave us clearance right before his leave.
What routes are the trucks going to be taking?
From my understanding, the routes are coming off on Norwalk and heading towards Telegraph and also on Florence
So over that bridge
over the bridge.
towards the freeway entrance?
I can have the applicant also respond to that one as well. From my understanding, it's off on Norwalk and Florence.
Are the trucks coming from west to east or from east to west?
From west to east,
West to
from
east.
my understanding.
What's already in a congested
Correct.
street.
So the traffic analysis that was done covered those concerns. And I believe that was also provided to you as well, which is a traffic report.
Any other questions? Go ahead, Commissioner Mora.
Actually, that was one of my questions, but also the entrance and exit, is that going to be on Florence?
The ingress egress will be off on Norwalk and the egress will be off of Florence.
Okay, so there's going to be plenty of room for the truck, no back in the trucks. They're all going to drive in and be able to dock.
Correct. They're docking out of they're ingressing off on Norwalk and egressing off of Norwalk and egressing off of Florence, from my understanding.
Okay, yeah, then there'd be truck parking, or this could be loading and unloading of the trucks, and then they leave the facility.
There's no parking for trucks, only for the docks.
Great report, though, very thorough. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, also my concern is the traffic on Florence. So I have the same concern.
Mhm.
Any other questions? The public hearing is now open. If the applicant or applicants wish to speak, please approach the podium or use the raise hand function at this time. Does the applicant wish to speak? If you can please state your name and city of residence for the record and address the planning commissioner, sir.
Good evening, Commissioners. Jeff Hamilton with Goodman. And our business is located out of Orange County in Irvine. Really, I didn't have a presentation or anything prepared. I just wanted to thank Claudia. I thought she did a great job, as well as the whole staff, Wayne and Kwong and the whole group. So really, I'm just here to address any questions if you have any. I know there were some questions on traffic, so I'll take that first if that's okay. Yeah, Urban Crossroads prepared a traffic study and basically deemed on what the original traffic engineer requested. I forget his name, Tom Lopez. Yes. So Tom Lopez wanted us to look at this a certain way. Urban Crossroads did that, and it was deemed that during peak hour trips, there would be a net reduction in trips during peak hours. If you look at the total trips, there'd be a small increase from what's there now versus what is proposed. And all of that is identified in the traffic study. So I don't know if that answers anyone's questions from the traffic perspective.
Do any of the commissioners have any other questions for the applicant?
You have any tenants, potential tenants yet?
We don't. Again, typically what we like to do is build speculative, and as soon as we get approved, hopefully we get approved this evening, we'll put this out into the market and start marketing it for a variety of users. Yeah. Commissioner Mora, you did have a question on queuing, and I did want to address that. We like the way this building is oriented, and also it has a very long throat. So trucks that would likely come in off of Norwalk, if they were to queue, we personally don't feel like this would be a significant amount of trucks at this location because of the minimal dock doors. But it could queue for something like 15 trucks or something between where the back of the building is and where Norwalk is. And also we like this building a lot because it has multiple entrances and exits. A larger truck would use the one off the entrance and exit off Norwalk, but we also have the one off Florence. If for some reason smaller trucks or employee parking or things like that. So, yeah.
Are there any other questions for the applicant? Is there anyone in the audience wishing to speak on this matter? If so, please use your raise hand function or approach the podium. Thank you, sir. Okay, Planning Commission Secretary, were there any comments submitted via email for item 7?
No, ma'am.
I would like to call upon the applicant. Oh, sorry, no. I would like to, at this time, to close the public hearing at, sorry, I turned my phone off, 6:26 p.m. Do the commissioners have any comments regarding this matter?
Yes, I would like the opportunity to review that traffic analysis once again before making a decision.
Do we have that readily available for him?
Would you like a recess or a continuation?
A continuation.
Were there any other? Go ahead, sir.
Go ahead.
Do the commissioners have any other comments or besides the continuance? Go ahead.
I'd second that. I want to look a little bit deeper into the traffic analysis Florence is pretty heavily congested as it is.
Okay, so do we have a motion for continuance till our next meeting? Is there a motion?
Yes.
Is there a second?
I second.
So So right now on the floor is a motion to continuance for next month. Do we need a roll call on that one? Planning Secretary?
Commissioner Flores,
Aye.
Commissioner Jimenez. Commissioner Mora.
Aye.
Vice Chair Ayala.
Aye.
Chair Carbajal.
Aye.
Passes 5-0 for continuance to the April 10th Planning Commission meeting.
So ordered then. Okay, so this would, do we need the attorney to say anything on this one since we're just continuing?
I had one question for staff. Normally, when you continue a public hearing, you ordinarily open the public hearing again and continue the public hearing to April 10th. That way, they don't have to republish.
So reopen public hearing until April 10th.
Reopen the public hearing and the motion is to continue the public hearing to April 10th.
Okay, so we'll reopen the public hearing to move until April 10th. Do you have that amendment? Okay,
And that was a clarification.
as clarification. Thank you, sir. Okay, item number 8, consent agenda. Consent agenda items are considered routine matters which may be enacted by one motion and roll call vote. Any item may be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately by the Planning Commission. Item A, compliance review of alcohol sales conditional use permit case number 15. Compliance review report for alcohol sales conditional use permit case number 15 to allow the continued sale of alcoholic beverages for off-site consumption at Bob's Market located at 11605 Carmenita Road in the C4 Community Commercial Zone. And consent to item B, compliance review of alcohol sales conditional use permit 79 to allow the continued alcohol beverage sales use on on-site consumption in association with the existing ramen restaurant operating in Hironori Craft Ramen at 10574 Norwalk Boulevard within the M2 heavy manufacturing zone and within the consolidated redevelopment project area. For consent items number 8A and 8B, is there a motion and a second for the approval for items number 8A and 8B?
I'll move.
Commissioner Mora,
I'll second.
second Commissioner Ayala, Planning Secretary, roll call vote.
Yes, Madam Chair. Commissioner Flores,
Aye.
Commissioner Jimenez.
Aye.
Commissioner Mora.
Aye.
Vice Chair Ayala.
Aye.
Chair Carbajal.
Aye.
Passes 5-0.
So ordered. Number 9, announcements. Are there any commissioners that have announcements that they would like to share? Starting off, Commissioner Mora.
Yeah, the Shamrock 5K, it was raining, but it was a great event. I believe there was 632 that were registered and close to 560 showed up. So 90%. The rain kept some people away, but it was a great event. It was a great turnout. And I'm looking forward to the pancake breakfast coming up on the 8th, 10th, 9th,
Yes.
day before Easter. Come get your flapjacks. I'm cooking.
Commissioner Jimenez.
Yes, I'll also be cooking along with Commissioner Mora at the pancake breakfast. And I also want to apologize for my dress today. I came straight from our ball game, so apologize for that.
It's okay.
And that's it.
Commissioner Ayala.
I think we're all Chiefs fans here, so no need to apologize.
I just got wind that we got some funding from the state today, and I don't know where that is allocated towards, but hopefully it's for balance with residents and business for community economic development. I just don't know all the parameters of what the funding's for. I think Madam Sanchez allocated some funds to our city, which is really, really good.
Awesome. Did you receive anything? Oh, okay. And myself, I participated in the 5K, which was good for me. After breaking my ankle a year ago on something else, I said, I'm going to do it. So it was fun and I did it. It was great. And I'll be at the pancake breakfast as well. And if my fellow commissioners here would like to join us, we can use more cooks and help out the city. So that's always there. Let's see, is there any announcements from staff?
I have a quick announcement. Commissioners, as part of your agenda, you should have received an email from Teresa Cavallo in regards to Senate Bill 1214. It relates to the architectural plans and the reason why Claudia could not share the floor plan and the elevations with you tonight. So in essence, it's an assembly bill that was authored by Senator Brian Jones. It went into effect in January of this year. We did get wind of it recently and we've immediately enacted that. But at the end of the day, the law basically prohibits us from copying or posting anything but a site plan and massing plans, which is basically a site plan or the renderings, which was shown to you tonight. And just to make things a little more simple, we decided to not show it on the presentation. If we did, we would have to crop it out from the video since this is publicized. So I just wanted to explain that to you. And moving forward, staff is looking to get authorization from each architect. We have a sample from Newport Beach that we plan to use, but understanding that not all architects are going to sign it. Some are going to still request that their plans not be shown. So I just wanted to share that with you. That's all I have tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Claudia, do you have anything? No? Louis, do you have anything? Sure.
Also, in front of you is a flyer regarding the Brown Act training commissioner. Janet Martinez, our city clerk, did send out this flyer for you all to register and for the training, which will be held on March 29th at 5 p.m. on April 12th at 1 p.m. If you can confirm attendance at one of the trainings, that would be greatly appreciated as well. It will be held at City Council from in this room. If anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out to myself or Janet. As well, in front of you is the confidential memo from Joseph Merritt regarding the new AB 2449 in regards to conferencing under the Brown Act. If you have any further questions, I can defer to Ivy or to Russell. I can do them.
Thank you. Mr. Morel.
Yes, to answer Commissioner Flores's inquiry, today was a check presentation from Congresswoman Linda Sanchez. It was 2.2 million that we got for water well number 12. And they also gave 500,000 to Habitat for Humanity for the for sale townhome development on the properties at the northeast corner of Laurel Avenue and Lakeland Road. So that was today. No problem.
I do have a question about that. When I was at the city of Garden Grove, we had problems with PFAS in our wells. Do we have that problem here in the city?
That would be something for Public Works to answer. I can't answer that.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else? If not, I'm going to adjourn this meeting at 6:38.